Hey bestsellers, welcome back. So today we are going to be talking about beta readers. In particular, we're going to talk about hiring a professional beta reader. Your first question may be, do I need beta readers? And the answer to that is a resounding yes. I personally was tempted to skip this step. I felt as though I had enough editorial feedback to safely say that my novel was successful. However, I was, I think, afraid to get that book out to the early readers, and there's a lot of reasons why you might have resistance around it, but the feedback that you get from regular readers, not editors, is critical, especially if you're going traditional, or actually it doesn't matter if you're going self-publishing or traditional. Maybe even more so if you're self-publishing, you need to know how readers will respond. Now, I was corrected of the idea of a average reader or an ordinary reader by my professional beta reader. I had asked a question around that, and it is important to realize that there is no ordinary reader, there is no average reader. Literature, fiction in particular, is highly subjective, and that is something that should be your mantra. You, in looking for feedback in your book, really want to measure if you're successful in a variety of concrete ways. So these are quantifiable, solid checklists of things that you need to accomplish to have a successful manuscript. Now, the subject matter, your story, your characters, whether your readers like them or not, and agents in particular, if you're doing queries like I am, you do need to understand that a novel is a work of art, just like a painting. If you go into a gallery, you like some paintings and you don't like some paintings. Books are no different. Not everyone's going to like your book. Not every agent's going to like your book. There is no book that every agent or every reader will like. So start with that and keep on repeating that to yourself. If you get negative feedback, if you have some readers who don't like your book, it may be that, it triggers some things for them in their psychology. It could be that it's just not their cup of tea. I wouldn't want to read a book about professional sports. I'm not interested in sports. However, biographies of artists and writers I absolutely adore. So please remember that. I want to give you a comparison of the feedback that I got back from a professional beta reader that I hired on Fiverr compared to a volunteer beta reader. So just someone in my group of friends who volunteered to read my novel and give their feedback. So I'll start with the professional reader and give you some tips on how to find a good professional reader on Fiverr or Upwork or any other Readsy, perhaps, any other freelance exchange that offers beta reading. Okay, so the first thing you want to look at is the credentials of the beta readers. I think that it's really important that your professional beta reader, since you're going to be paying probably over $100 for it, is qualified. If your book is about popular culture in your country, it's probably important to hire someone who is a native speaker. Now, I hire freelancers from all over the world for all sorts of things, but in the case of my novel, my book is highly referencing American pop culture, so I thought it would be important that I hire an American reader who is a native speaker. So there's that. Now, it isn't necessary that your beta reader is qualified in the way the one that I selected is. I did select a beta reader who has a PhD in literature and French literature, is a professional critic, is a professional writer, has been so for 18 years, runs forums on how to write comedy and journalism. However, if your book is a middle grade book, or if it's fantasy, sci-fi, or something like that, you may be looking for different credentials. However, you do want to make sure that your hired beta reader has a lot of experience reading, a lot of experience in critiquing, a lot of experience in written reports of a checklist of things that you want a reader to pay attention to: the structure, the characters, the dialogue, the success of the narrative. So if on Fiverr, and you will find this to be the case, you find somebody who says, I will read your entire novel and give you a full report for $20, you're almost certain not to get the quality feedback, the level of feedback that you need or want from a professional beta reader. So if it's too good to be true, then it's not true. Just keep that in mind. I would say that you should plan to spend at least $100. I spent $140 on my professional beta reader, and I thought that was a bargain. I know how much time it takes and how much thought it takes to give a detailed, thorough review of a book. You can't read a full novel in less than 6 hours, and if you take your time with it, it's going to take you 8 hours or so, plus the additional work. If somebody's charging $20 for that, well, buyer beware, I just say. So yes, I happily spent $140 on my professional read, and I was thrilled that the turnaround time that was promised on the reader's profile was a week, and he absolutely delivered on the date that he had promised. My volunteer beta readers, on the other hand, I gave them a month to get me feedback. I have several readers reading my manuscript right now, and I wouldn't expect volunteer readers to read any more quickly than 2 weeks, and that is really, really rushing it. Give them a month, even 2 months. I did get feedback from one volunteer reader, so that actually is really good for this video, because I'm going to compare the results from the professional beta reader and from the volunteer beta reader. Okay, so in the next video I will go over the results, or in one of the future videos, it might be the one after next. I'm going to go over the results from the rest of the volunteer beta readers and then compare. So if you want to see the results of all of my beta readers pooled and the different weights on the different parts of a successful book, do subscribe and like this video so you can see that video about the results from the rest of the readers. Now we'll get into the results from Decillis, who is the reader that I hired on Fiverr. I will link to his profile in the description below. He was absolutely excellent. His reviews are excellent, and that's one of the reasons why I selected him. His credentials are excellent, and he's incredibly professional, delivers on the dot, on the day that he promises. So highly, highly recommended. The results that I got back from Decillis was a full report. So 1, 2, 3 pages, and I'm showing you the pages because I want to show you the results compared to the volunteer beta reader. This is the results I got back from the volunteer beta reader. Now, Decillis is a PhD. The volunteer beta reader actually is also a PhD candidate. However, Decillis is a PhD in literature, and my volunteer beta reader is going through the process of becoming a PhD in natural medicine. So that's just so you understand the backgrounds that these people are coming from. The professional reader said that the existential and the absurd, the juxtaposition in my novel was very similar to Camus' work. I really liked this in-depth exploration of the comparative and competitive titles. So he also did some competitive titles of current work. Then he proceeded to analyze the success of the narrative, which he said was highly successful, the realism of the dialogue, the characters, the point of view, and my choice to split the point of view when the storyline splits, and then gave a summary and then some editing notes. He actually went so far as to correct some of the minor mistakes. Now, had the manuscript been in worse shape and had a lot of mistakes, then he probably wouldn't have jotted down the page numbers and said that this word was spelled incorrectly, etc., etc. But he went as far as to do that. However, the 3 pages that I showed you, this is all analysis and criticism of the novel. And I was absolutely thrilled for the price I paid. This was incredible. So in comparison to the volunteer beta readers analysis, it is like night and day. So the reason why I'd highly recommend hiring a professional beta reader is because you need a baseline. I think that's the biggest takeaway. If you hire someone, you're going to have a baseline. If you start getting in feedback from readers who are not experienced in critique, or your book is not their cup of tea, it's going to be frustrating. If you have that professional report, then you have a baseline. You know somebody who is qualified, has checked off all of the boxes, and it will prevent that disheartening frustration of not really knowing if the book is at least sound in its success as a story. So I will, read you pretty much verbatim the feedback I got from the volunteer beta reader, and she said, "What is the point of making it in the future? The beginning was slow going because I am not into video games. Are we to believe that Kara and Herb would tolerate Leo's drug addiction? Nice people would not put up with that. The other 2 characters form a new company, however, Leo is always in the background causing them chaos. The dialogue is believable, however, I could not recommend this book to my friends." See, if you understand that, had I got only that, it wouldn't have given me any information, and it would really have disappointed me. So I know that this reader isn't into this type of transgressive fiction, isn't into the sophistication and existential, quandaries that I posed in the book, and that other people really will be into them. So having that baseline from the professional reader softened the blow, and really, she was not that negative. However, she may really be into fantasy or romance or something like that, and not into the type of stuff that I am writing. It's not a bad review, but it's not that useful of a review. So what I do recommend is hiring, spending up to $200 on that professional read, using that as a baseline, and as your beta readers come in with their reports, comparing it against the professional report, and I think that you're going to be a lot happier and get a lot more information and a lot more instruction on how to modify and improve your manuscript. Okay, so that's it. My advice is, yes, do hire, and also ask friends, family, followers, fans, a group of up to 10 readers to evaluate your manuscript and to answer some questions that you posed to them. Oh, and I also did want to tell you about another upcoming video that I'm super excited about. So subscribe to get notification on this upcoming video. I have applied for Author Mentor Match. So sister YouTuber and booktuber Alexa Dawn has a mentor program, and I've applied. I think that I will know if I have been assigned a mentor by February 3rd. So stay tuned for that. Make sure to like this video and subscribe to this channel for both the continuation of the beta reading evaluation, and then the author mentor match. I will also fill you in more on that program. All right, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next video. Bye, bestsellers.